Hello, my friends, hello, and welcome once again to the adventurous Vaughn Manor. And today, it's Tag Tuesday, and Roger and I have a tag for you. That's unusual, but we do. And the tag we're doing today is the Awfully Big Adventure Tag. It's an adventure tag, and it's awfully big. It's the Awfully Big Adventure Tag, created by Shawn D. Standfast, the one and only Shawn D. Standfast. You should check out his channel. It's amazing. I'll link it down below. Now, one of the reasons he came up with this original tag is because in August, Shawn D. Standfast and Mark from Book Time with Elvis are hosting a reading event. And the reading event is August of Adventure. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Yeah, August of Adventures. August of Adventures. Which is a reading event all about adventure fiction or adventure nonfiction. It's adventures, including, from what it looks like, a lot of classic adventure stories that they're going to be reading in August. Tarzan of the Apes and Treasure Island, among others. So that'll be exciting. Now, normally this would be, right up my street. It'd be something I would really want to join in with. Unfortunately, August is also Garb-August, created by CriminOlly, a reading event devoted to reading trash, and I'm a co-host of Garb-August. So I'm going to be busy reading trash in August. I'm going to be like up to here in trashy books. So while I won't be a part of it, I do want to support it because I think it's a great idea. And here we have this fantastic tag. So let's get to it. Question 1. Do you like your adventures stories fictional or real life? And why? Fictional or real life? Well, I tend to like my adventure stories fictional, and I'll tell you why. See, my life is one that is filled with adventure. My life is a real life adventure story every day. One adventure after another. I walk out the door, adventure, all day long. So I get all the real life adventure I can handle. So it's nice to have, when I have my reading time, to have some fictional adventures. To lose myself in fictional adventures. And that's why. Too much real life adventure in my life. Roger, he's the same way. We're just, we're men of action. That's what we are. So number 2, if you could follow in the footsteps of any explorer, who would that be and why? I've got an answer for this. I got a book about this real-life adventure. Okay, maybe he's not so real-life, but he is John Carter, the explorer of the planet Mars, known by its inhabitants. Yeah, Mars has inhabitants, you didn't know? Known by its inhabitants as Barsoom. John Carter, who, as everyone knows, was a Civil War veteran that was transported mysteriously to the planet Mars. How was he transported? We don't really know. Not yet, anyway. We'll figure it out someday. But anyway, he was transported to the planet Mars, where he, the first Earth person on Mars, explored all over that planet. And his adventures are chronicled in this book. Actually, his adventures and the adventures of his kids. It's a multi-generational saga, this series, the Mars series, which he narrated to Edgar Rice Burroughs. John Carter did. So yeah, John Carter, I would love to follow in his footsteps because I would like to go to Barsoom. That would be awesome. You read this book, you'd want to go there too. I mean, there's a lot of killing and violence and stuff, but it's like Earth is any better. So yeah, we could go to Barsoom. That'd be fun. I would like to do that. Okay. Number 3. Where was the most romantic and or weirdest place you have read a book? What was that book? I can't think of any weird place. Have I read books any place weird? I'm trying to think. I don't think I have an answer for weird. Maybe one will strike me later, but right now I can't think of any place weird. Romantic, though, I did read a book in Greece. All over Greece I read this book, but probably the best spot, the apartment where the lady of the manor and I were staying, you looked out the window and you saw the Acropolis, like right there, you know. So that was at Athens, and it was fantastic. So that in Athens, just looking out the window, and yeah, it was awesome. You could see ancient Greece right outside your window. And the book I read, of course, had to be something ancient Greek, and it was this one, Thucydides, The History of the Peloponnesian War. This is the very copy that I carried around with me in Greece. Yeah, so yeah, that's my answer for that one. That's probably, I mean, yeah, I think that qualifies. Okay, where are we? We are at number 4. If money was no object, what rare and or signed adventure book, fiction or nonfiction, would you purchase if money were no object? I would get the original edition that this book is a duplicate of. This is the Skullface Omnibus by Robert E. Howard, which is a British reprint of Skullface and Others. This is actually a duplicate of that book. Only it's a duplicate with teensy tiny little print because it's a wee little version of that book. The original version of Skullface and Others, which was originally published by Arkham House, a collection of Robert E. Howard stories, is very, very, very expensive. So I don't have that book. I could afford it, I suppose, but it seems like a lot of money for a book, and it would be hard for me to justify. I mean, just to have it, you know, I like my posh books, but that's a lot of money to spend on something you really don't need. You know what I mean? But if money were no object, yeah, I'd get that book. I really would. Okay, number 5. What place have you read about but never visited? Name a few of your favorite titles. Well, I'll name a couple of my favorite titles. And the place that I have never visited but have read about would be Egypt. I am particularly interested, of course, because I'm interested in all ancient things, in ancient Egypt. I'm always hearing stories about it from Roger Hotep over here. Roger's always telling me about his wild times in ancient Egypt and all the fun he had when he was a mortal man before he became an undead mummy. So, you know, he makes it sound pretty great, actually. So, yeah, ancient Egypt. And I've got a couple books I would recommend. One isn't just about ancient Egypt. It is what I consider the best one-volume ancient history, and that would be Egypt, Greece, and Rome, Civilizations of the Ancient Mediterranean. Now, the reason that I'm recommending this one is because not only does it have a lot of information on ancient Greece, it actually has a bunch of information on it, but it also shows you how it ties in with the other cultures of the ancient Mediterranean. All of these different cultures were tied together through trade, through war, and they all influenced each other. And so you do get an idea of how all of these different cultures work together by reading this book, by reading not just about ancient Egypt, but about the other civilizations of the ancient Mediterranean. So yeah, I highly recommend this. This is a great book. I'll talk about it one of these days. But as far as a book just on ancient Egypt, this is actually a really, really good book. This is the Oxford History of Ancient Egypt, edited by Ian Shaw. Some have accused this of being a bit dry. Dry as the desert sand, they say, but you know, that might be true, but it's actually really, really good. Not every book in the Oxford histories are that good. The Greek history volume in this series and the Roman one are good, but not particularly great. This one is really, really good. Yeah, as far as just information, accurate information, yeah, this one's great. You can learn an awful lot about ancient Egypt from this book. I love it. I highly recommend it. Dry or not. So, there you go. That was 10 minutes of adventure right there. I know. Fantastic stuff here on this channel. So, the last thing is to tag some fellow adventurers. Who will I tag for this adventuresome tag? I am going to tag CriminOlly, who undoubtedly would take part in August of Adventure if he was not already hosting Garb August. So I tag CriminOlly, first of all. Then I will tag Anne with a book. Anne with a book. I don't know if she's done this yet or not. She might have already been tagged, actually. Oh well, I'll tag Anne with a book again. I should have checked who was tagged. Who did get tagged? Did Anne with a book get tagged in this one? Summer did. No. A bunch of people did. Anne with a book wasn't though, so I tag Anne with a book. Anybody else I should tag? Who else would like to partake in adventure? Nope, I think that'll do it. CriminOlly, Anne with a book. That'll do it. I'll just tag you two. And anybody else who wants to do it, really. My mind has just gone blank. You know, that happens, you know, when you reach an exceedingly old age. Just ask Roger. He's almost as old as I am. So, yeah, you reach a certain age and you're just like, what? Who? When? Where? So, yeah. But I remembered CriminOlly and Anne with a book, so I tag you two. And so I will see you hopefully tomorrow. I've got a Garb Augusty comic book video coming up tomorrow. That'll be fun. Later on this week, I've got some other stuff. And later on this week, I'll be talking about my hellish hiatus that I'm going to have to take. I'm going to be gone from BookTube for like a week, which I don't look forward to. But I will return, hopefully, but I will be gone. But I'll explain that later on in the week. Let's not even think about that until then. Oof, the thought of not being on BookTube for all that time is terrible. So, thank you, my friends, for joining me once again, and I will catch you next time. Bye, guys.